Hey everyone, Rustbutt Collector here, and Disney has done it again. In the span of a year, we have gotten two amazing Clone Trooper action figures with unique dialogue, beautiful deco, and some amazing box art. But that is all about to change yet again as a third competitor has entered the arena. This is the Star Wars Power Force 212th Battalion Clone Trooper from shopdisney.com. Now finally, this figure was available in the US to order at retail price, shipped directly from Disney on May 4th. And I was able to get one of these. I did not pick up the helmet. I just didn't feel like I had room for another one of the 1-to-1 scale helmets, but I had to get this figure because I've been getting all the rest. Once again, this box art is what we've come to expect, but it is beautifully detailed with this Revenge of the Sith render here, and then also on the side, a full HD 212th render. This is the stuff that you would think is lost in the depths of the Jedi archives at this point, but they still have them, and they're still using them for box art, and it is beautiful. On the back, we just have some details about the figure, including the lights and sounds details, motion-activated blaster lights and sound effects, which is something that I didn't realize these things had until recently. But anyways, let's get this thing out of the box and take a closer look. So here he is in all of his orange goodness. I'll just be doing a quick review of this because, again, we've already gotten this figure twice before. There's not a lot new, but there is some stuff we gotta talk about. So one thing I do love with this figure is that this is the Revenge of the Sith deco and not the Clone Wars deco, so the orange is a much more pale orange. The striping on the legs is all the way down to the bottom here. The stripe on the helmet goes all the way to the back. Little details like that just solidify this as a Revenge of the Sith release and not a Clone Wars release. And having this be a part of their 20th anniversary release was just so great. I love that we also got Gree this year, even though he was not able to be gotten from Shop Disney. That was such a frustrating thing to have to hunt these guys down on the aftermarket. I hope all the future releases are like this right through shopdisney.com. All the articulation is the same. All of what we've come to expect with these figures is the same, and I love that. These are such quality figures for the price point of only $30. They're very nicely detailed, nicely weathered, and honestly pretty decently articulated all the way around. For what they are, I love them. I said this on my first review of the 187th, and I'll say it again here. I love that the weathering is continued here onto the back. A lot of figures just kind of act like you're never going to turn the action figure around, and this is just so good to see. There's a lot of dry brush weathering here as well, something we didn't see on the previous ones. So there's this sandy color along the chin here and just on various places along the legs. I'm sure it's meant to represent the dust of Utapau, but I gotta say, I don't super love it here. It just seems a little bit overdone here on the helmet and kind of makes it remind me of like the old Sideshow figures weathering. I love the weathered chipping here though. That is definitely a nice detail. Only I will say I don't like that some of the weathering continues into the visor, like here and on this side. Doesn't look super good because that just doesn't seem to line up with what visors are in Clone Trooper armor lore, you know, but besides that, this is a pretty fantastic figure. Again, it's the same thing we've gotten before. I can't say too much about it without just rehashing all of that again, but let's take a look at the all-new voice lines that we have with this figure.
All units, fire at will. Roger that, sir. Good thing those bugs can aim. We are not the enemy. Cover me! Roger that, sir. Good thing those bugs can aim.
So yeah, I love seeing these voice lines replicated here. Once again, I think this is the same voice actor as Gree.
All right, troopers. This is what we've trained for. There's always a way.
Yeah, I think that they've brought on a new voice actor. It's not D. Bradley Baker. It's also not Tamora Morrison. I think they've got a new actor who is kind of bridging the gap between those two characters. And honestly, that's fantastic. It's a great representation of the voice lines. I love that they included the Bugs Can't Aim line from Clone Wars with this clone. It's so fitting. They've kind of mashed the Clone Wars and realistic live-action clones together here, and it's just fantastic. Another really fun feature that these guys have that I didn't realize in previous videos is that if you shake them, they actually fire their blasters. Now, for some reason, I can't get this one to work consistently. It's not really doing the thing that's supposed to do, but this one actually works really well. You kind of got to let the sound effect play out before you do the next shake, but it is a really fun little feature, and with the Battle Droid they just released, I could see people having a lot of fun just having a line of these, you know, especially kids. Kids would really love having these. You have the Battle Droid in one hand, the clones in the other. and you just, you go to war and you can just shake them and make the blaster sound effects. Back in my day, you had to just make your own blaster sound effects. But anyways, it's not something that everybody needs, and most people probably would go their whole life with these figures and not even know that that was a function. I know I certainly missed it on the first two, even though it said it on the box. I just sometimes don't like to read boxes and instructions. You know how it is. But this is a fantastic lineup for this toy line, and I am so pleased that they have continued it, given us a third trooper here, especially from Revenge of the Sith. That's just so classic. I know JCC 2224 is probably thrilled to have a 212th clone in this line, but I'm just happy that they keep making clone figures. These are fantastic, and as long as they keep cranking out the 1-to-1 helmets alongside them, I think that that will just be great for any collector. Honestly, I would love to see a Shock Trooper after this, or a 501st. I know for sure I would buy one of those helmets for my collection. If I'm getting really wishful thinking, I would love to see a Camino Security, because those guys just don't have enough representation in toys and merchandise. Sadly, I don't think we're going to see more outliers like this 187th Trooper. That was just such an odd one-off to start the line with. I think from now on we're going to be getting more canon designs of clone troopers, and I'm okay with that, but it is disappointing because I just love a good, wacky design like the 187th. But anyways, that's all there is to say about this figure. I hope you were able to pick it up if you were interested in this figure or the helmet. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this new Power Force line, and if you've been collecting these along the way or if they've just been too hard to pick up. I know it's frustrating when you can't buy them directly from Shop Disney in the US, but at least that has been fixed with this new trooper. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening, noon, or night, depending on when you're watching this video, of course. And as always, I'll be sure to catch you all in the next video.